Hi there everyone, it's Mr. Rops here, and today we're going to talk about mixed quadratic solving and all the techniques that we have involved with us, and we're going to summarize them all. And there's a lot of different ways that we can solve quadratic equations, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. The first one by technology is using Desmos, and so all you do is you graph it and you find the x-intercepts, and that helps us find the solutions to the equation. So it's quick and easy. If you have Desmos, it is often the most efficient method to solve the problems. Not always, but often. Another way you could do it is if you have your graphing calculator. If you have your graphing calculator, you find the x-intercepts, and again, you're looking for the x-intercepts from your graphing calculator. And on your calculator, it's often the command of 0 is how to find your x-intercepts. Another way to do it is if you have polysimultaneous. If you take your equation, if I have an equation like 3x squared minus 8x plus 2 equals 0, when it's written as such, if you go to apps, polysimultaneous, you're going to do the root finder next, and then you plug the coefficients into here, and this will quickly find you your solutions. And then finally, we can graph it, make one equation y1, one equation y2, as this example is shown, and then you take it and you look for the intersection points. You look for the x value here and the x value here, and that will find you your thing. This is 4 different ways using technology, and depending upon the tool you have available or the equation, some are easier or more effective than others. If you do not have technology, you have 3 versions here, but within factoring, you always look for a common factor first, and then you consider, if you want to consider if a equals 1. If a equals 1, then you ask yourself the magic question that I talk about, the magic question. What 2 numbers multiply to get the c and add to get the b? And if a does not equal 1, then you have to do the x in the box method. But if you're going to do factoring, it's going to be one of these techniques. There's also a subset of when a equals 1, or not 1, when you have a difference of squares. When you have this scenario here, minus 25, these procedures will always work, but if you see the shortcut, if these are both perfect squares and it's a subtraction, then it factors really quickly into something simple like x plus 5 and x minus 5. That's factoring. We spend a lot of time factoring. It's a great technique. Another version that we can use is called the vertex form. The vertex form looks like when I have a scenario written like this. And so you can do PEMDAS backwards when you have this scenario. PEMDAS backwards, because you can subtract 36, divide by 2, and then square root it. But it has to be in this form or a version of that form in order to work. It's a special case. And then finally, the quadratic formula. X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac b squared minus 4ac all over 2a all over 2a. And that works for every quadratic equation that exists, where a is in front of x squared, b is the coefficient for x, and c is the constant term. This always works, but it's not that efficient. Those are our methods. You choose the most appropriate.